Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a dynamic effort upper day. Just a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, in keeping with what I'm doing, I just went straight close grip on all this, because that's all that matters, is all my close grip strength. We're not going to wide grip. Look how much easier close gripping is for me hitting a heavier weight than I just missed the last two times at meet. Wide grip the other day, close grip, and it wasn't even a true max. Let's just stick with close grip and let's build my delts and triceps. And again, it just doesn't mean we ignore chest, because I feel chest mostly on my rep work on close grip, actually. But we're not going to ignore chest, but we are going to put a ton of volume into triceps and delts. And we're just going to build this close grip up. And yeah, I went over and used a little bit more arch, got up on my toes this time. Why not? It's allowed in comp. You know, it's allowed in comp. And even though I have a super long range of motion with my arms in close grip, I'm still taking out a little bit of the hardest part. And if I do that, it drives my lats up even higher, which is what I use to pop me out of the bottom. It's one reason I'm so fast out of the bottom of the close grip, and you guys see me do it. I'm going to use my lats as a spring. But we went heavy band tension. For those curious, look at those are Road Blacks. And they're pulled relatively tight, especially with a close grip that gives more stretch at the top. I'm running 100 pounds of band tension. And it wasn't bad. I may increase that further. Right? Because really, band and chains are really what it's about on the speed work for the benching. Especially for me, given that I'm close gripping now, and if I miss a close grip, it's either just past the halfway point or it's at the very lockout. I tend to have to grind the last third of the lift if it gets real heavy. Not always, but most of the time. All right, I didn't want to mess with dumbbells today, so I'm like, well, let's get the same response as a dumbbell. I've got the McDonald bar. Why don't I use it? Let's use it. Let's get that deep pec stretch, and again, the angles are a little closer to my benching, a little wider than my close grip. But let's get that deep stretch. Went ahead and did 6 sets of 10. I need to go a little heavier on this. Although this is the heaviest I've ever gone for sets of 10, but I felt like I had reps there in the tank, even on the 6th set, at least a couple reps. So I'm going to mess with this bar a little more, I think, on speed days. I really liked the way it felt. I really felt that deep stretch in my pecs at the bottom, which is what we need for hypertrophy, because my triceps are going to grow from all the other stuff. I do need to make sure the pecs are not being neglected. I do get rep work on close grip, which hits them on yummy day. But I'm like, let's get a little bit of deep stretch. Let's just make sure the pecs are growing, and the pecs can pop me out of the bottom if I need to. And they don't become a weak link even close gripping. So I use this at the closest grip I can get away with, which, if you guys notice, gives me perfect stacking. And I only go, a couple inches deeper than what I could do with a normal barbell on the flat bench. Not a lot deeper, but it is still a deeper stretch than I can do on a bench press. And that's the whole point. That additional range of motion at the point of highest mechanical tension. All right, this is a monster for hypertrophy. And it's a monster on the stretch reflex. This gives us the same benefits we do from dumbbells. And people who remember why McDonald made this bar, and he was an amazing bencher. About a guy who was benching over 500 in the 181 way back in the day. Bench specialist. Because he couldn't find dumbbells heavy enough. So he invented this bar. Continue to get all the benefits. It's a great bar. And they're easy to get now. I'm using that Adler one, but now even Titan makes one for less than $200. Now, granted, they're only rated to 600 pounds, but who in the hell is doing more than 600 pounds on this bar? All right. My God, are you Julius Maddox? I mean, plus I like it also for these seal rows. Now, having messed with the different seal rows, I'm going to be honest, I feel the most lat and the most grip work and like just total forearm with this particular bar out of the different bars I have I can use on this. So I'm going to stick with it a bit. So I've been going through the different bars. Yeah, I like this one. I went up in weight. I only did 4 sets today because this weight was really hard. 185 for sets of 10 strict like this. these are tough. But I felt a ton of lat, felt a ton of forearm. Now, keeping in mind, I do need some lat work in there, do need some lat work. But, all this rowing hits the rear delts because I'm doing a lot of rowing. And yeah, guys, look, I'm getting thicker. I'm getting thicker and I'm not gaining body fat. Pure lean bulking. Which means I'm gaining almost no weight, by the way. For those curious, I'm still walking around at like 220. Which is, what I weighed 6 days out from the last meet where I weighed in 197. However, if we can do most of it through improving body composition, that makes weigh-ins easier. I figured out how to drop that water real easy. Just got to master reloading it. The leaner you are and the more glycogen stores you have, the easier it is to do it. All right, so that's going to be the name of the game. But I stopped at 4 sets of these because I did chin-ups this morning. I've been filming less of that stuff because it's just like, I'll film more of it, I guess, coming up soon. But it just feels like little filler videos that I don't think people care about seeing. You guys have seen me do so many sets of pull-ups and chin-ups shirtless and abs first thing in the morning when I'm at my leanest. Because honestly, like even if I wake up with a 6-pack, it's gone by the evening. Once I've eaten all that watermelon, because I eat a whole watermelon every day. I get that food, baby. It's all gone. All my arms and legs look lean, but my midsection doesn't later in the day. So, is what it is. Not that it matters that much. It's probably marketable for me. I'm at a point where it's like, do I even need marketability? Like, I'll be honest. I want my business to grow, but where my coaching business is right now, and even the little bit of money that YouTube makes on the side, I could be pretty comfortable. Like if it sat there for the next 3 years, I'd be real comfortable. But I want it to grow. Right? I want it to grow. I got 39 clients right now. I wouldn't mind getting up to 50 one day. Be nice. Be nice. And I think it'll happen eventually, because it's been in a growth window all year. I think with Worlds coming up, that's going to happen. But, but that's the point. We're getting ready for Worlds. We're maximizing hypertrophy. We're back on conjugate. All right. We need to come in and kill it. Don't care as much about my squat, but I want to get that bench up so I don't have an embarrassing total. And we want the deadlift record. I don't care what clowns say. You got people online who are like, you're cherry picking. I can't cherry pick my age. I'm in the age class I'm in. I went with the biggest fed. It is the biggest untested federation in the United States, arguably the world. What more do you want? That's not cherry picking, guys. It's USPA. Did I cherry pick my weight class? Yes, I dieted down to where I have abs and I do water cuts to make a weight class where I can break records. That's called being competitive, guys. That's not cherry picking. Oh, you dieted way down. Yeah, because I don't need to be walking around at 240, 250. I'm 45 years old. So, get over to the training. Upright rows, I went up 5 pounds on those and picked up reps. I did a few extra reps here and there in those sets. So, delts are getting stronger. I need to just keep increasing that. I need to get those upright rows where I'm cranking out sets of 10 decently with a full blue plate. Full, 45 on each side. We went ahead and did a 5th set today on these plate raises. Right, and we're going up overhead with them because that really gives the most benefit. And people really don't worry about my arms because I can't lock my elbows overhead. I can't lock my elbows at all by most people's standards. Which, yes, I get an exception for that in meets. The judges are aware of it. They know, and I point to my elbows. They just look and see what angle I unrack on the bench. And when I lock it, they want to see the same elbow angle that I have to use to unrack a max. Believe me, they're not bent when you're unracking a max. So, we're all good. Just deal with it. It's my bone structure. But yeah, as I get up overhead, that gets pulled into weird angles, especially with that plate, holding the plate in the middle. But we're getting a great pump in the shoulders, and it's a completely different pump than I get on those upright rows. I do feel more of the front delt and more of the upper trap, whereas in the upright row, I just feel the entire shoulder. All right, we went to the next bands up. These are listed at 50 by Rogue. The others are 30. So these are a substantial increase in band tension. yet I got around 15 reps on both sets. Someone had asked when they saw Saeed doing these in the vlog earlier today, why is he doing those curls so fast? Because the overspeed eccentric with band work like this can potentially build tendons. It's only a hypothetical. It's a hypothesis, meaning it's not a fact, but there is evidence to suggest and biomechanics to suggest the training response should be potentially thicker tendons. Plus, we're getting that stretch reflex. This is what potentially gives bands some hypertrophy, because some people argue bands don't cause hypertrophy. They clearly do. But because we're getting that stretch reflex near the lockout and it's hard because of the accommodating resistance, it snaps you back, we get an eccentric overload, and it really, really causes micro tearing in those tendons. So what are we doing? We're thickening the elbow tendons. Because I'm close grip benching, that's going to be really, really important. Also, because where do I miss benching? Is it at the bottom on a close grip? No. So really making those triceps have to hammer hard and to try to outrun the bands and get snapped back will really build that lockout strength for the triceps. And again, any tricep hypertrophy builds the full range of motion. Keep that in mind. There's a lot of specificity here. And yes, I'm doing 10 sets. But we're getting much stronger because now I've gone up to these higher bands. And I don't think any set I got less than about 12 or 13 reps. And I got 15 or 16 on some. So my triceps are getting stronger, even with this small work. And the stronger my triceps get, we will see direct carryover to the closed grip bench. On maxes particularly. Rep work, it really is very pec intensive for me, and it always feels that way. On the maxes though, I feel those triceps. So that's going to be the name of the game. Build the triceps, thicken the elbow tendons, so that my elbows can handle all the closed grip heavy work later. And any other tricep work I might want to throw in that's hard on the elbows, like JM presses again. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.